An investigation has found 3 times the normal level of bacteria in a burger from a Korean branch of McDonald's.
Restaurants that serve contaminated food are fined or shut down. But when it's the government that approves the poisons in our food.
A Big Mac meal has over 1,000 calories and nearly 90 ingredients. Many of them are linked to various diseases, yet the average American eats it once a week, with regular customers spending almost $200 each month. With this in mind, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. warns against these meals and calls for everyone to at least know what they are consuming. What are these ingredients, and just how dangerous are they?
Enough is enough. President Trump and I are going to stop the mass poisoning of American children. Together, we're going to make America healthy again.
Join us as we unravel the science behind these ingredients and their hidden dangers.
Is that Americans need to have better food to eat, which, true, absolutely.
McDonald's Art of Addiction. As we all know, McDonald's is one of the most visited fast food places in the world, and it has been that way for over 70 years. In the United States alone, the average person visits one of their restaurants at least 50 times a year. This means most people either eat there or buy their products at least once a week, and others even more. The average they spend is just over $8. And when we do the math with the exact number of visits the average person pays at McDonald's in a year, we have well over $450 spent in total. On the surface, this doesn't sound much to a lot of people, but this is where it blows the mind. You see, this metric only applies to regular people who visit only once in a while. For those who visit almost every day, they spend at least $200 each month. Worse yet, these people have no idea how much power this company has over their eating and spending habits. All it takes is a closer look to realize that everything at McDonald's, from the bright red and yellow colors to its very appealing menu, are carefully crafted together to make people feel hungry when they aren't. Buy more when they shouldn't, eat more when they don't have to, and keep coming back to spend more. Let's start with the colors. The bright red and yellow colors we now know McDonald's for were not chosen simply because they look good. Research shows us the drastic effects of seeing these colors together on multiple occasions each day. As we know, the color red is mostly used to make people feel excited or alert about something. It speeds up the heartbeat and makes people feel like something urgent is going on. Yellow stands for something bright and inviting. When people see red and yellow together, along with the name of a brand known for making delicious food, the natural idea is to eat and leave quickly for other customers. We know this because it is the same color scheme that is used in other fast food restaurants like Burger King, In-N-Out Burger, and Chick-fil-A. They do this because it works, and many other fast food logos have chimed in as well. But they don't stop there. Even the way they arrange the menu is designed to make people spend more than they plan to. They do this by making their combo meals at eye level and putting out the price in a way that makes the customer think the full package is being sold at a discount. In most cases, it is the first item customers see, and the restaurant makes it look like a much better deal to buy multiple things at once than getting only what you need. With this simple tactic, it is easy to make people spend a lot more than planned, and the worst part is that these combo meals that look like huge discounts are perhaps McDonald's biggest source of income. These promos often use those same red colors to boost a sense of urgency with limited time offers and special promotions to make customers feel like they are missing out if they don't buy it. Worse yet, these offers are usually put beside an often large and exaggerated image of the food to make them more delicious and appealing than they are. Stepping into one of these places comes with a pleasant smell that makes people crave food even though they aren't hungry. And in some places, the music they play is based on the ongoing situation. If the restaurant is busy, the music is fast, making people eat quickly and leave for others to come in. If the restaurant doesn't have a lot of people, the music slows down to make those present feel relaxed and willing to buy more when given enough time. Aside from that, a lot of the items on their menu follow a simple formula: sugar, fat, and salt. Many studies show how this basic yet brilliant formula tricks the brain into making people think they need more food even when they don't. Some experts believe this combination triggers pleasure signals in the brain almost as well as illegal substances do. As a result, customers crave more food at times when they are not hungry. Other items on their menu contain chemicals that boost the flavor and make the food last longer when taken on the go. Please stay till the end for the specific names of these foods and the various health issues they cause. But for now, it's important to know that some of these added substances, like MSG compounds, make food more addictive by boosting the taste. It gets crazier when customers claim that certain soft drinks like Coke that are served at McDonald's taste a lot better than the regular ones from a can or a bottle. Is this real, or is it just a mental trick coming from an addicted mind? Sadly enough, the answer to the question is that they are right. It's just as real as they say it is. How so, you ask? Through exclusive deals with the manufacturers. Some of these deals go way back to the mid-50s. You see, it was sometime back then when the restaurant's founder, Ray Kroc, allied with Coca-Cola to build a soda fountain at the restaurant. He saw how popular the drink was becoming and wanted to enjoy the profit in a way that would help both of them. The result of this effort was a partnership that made the restaurant Coca-Cola's biggest customer, and for the most part, that remains the case to this day. Because of this partnership, McDonald's restaurants with specially made fountains by the manufacturers are designed to make sure the amount of sweet syrup perfectly matches the temperature and carbonation of the water used in the process. These machines also have a double filtration system that makes sure each serving always has the right amounts of each ingredient depending on the time of day. The result of this mixture is a drink that is far superior to anything you can get in regular bottles and cans. Perhaps this is one of the biggest reasons why customers keep coming back, because even when they don't have these fountains, McDonald's follows very specific guidelines on how to store and serve these drinks. Before the sweet syrup gets mixed with water, they are kept in stainless steel cans instead of plastic bags to keep the flavor fresh. And the water used to mix before serving is already pre-chilled and filtered. As a result, the drinks are far more enjoyable than ever. Even the way employees are trained to speak to customers shows how restaurants upsell their products. Please keep in mind that this is less of a problem with the employees because they are only doing what they are paid to do, but rather with the employers. Instead of asking customers if they want to add specific items to their order, employees are trained to ask if customers want to go large. And while this sounds like a very simple question on the surface, it is one that surprisingly leads customers to buy much more than they planned. Over 70% of McDonald's customers report buying more than they originally planned, or briefly stopping at the nearest store when they never saw it coming. This is because McDonald's restaurants can be found almost anywhere at this point. As of today, there are over 13,000 McDonald's locations in the US alone. No matter where someone is, they are likely to be near one. The biggest ones are found near strategic locations. Almost every school, highway, and shopping center has a store found there, making it almost too easy to come across. The drive-through system made this even easier, allowing people to drive by and get their food quickly without needing to leave their cars. With all that said, it's safe to say that McDonald's is a very successful business that understands the human mind better than most other companies. They understand what makes people hungry when they don't need to eat, what makes them spend so much when they have so little, and how to benefit from the guilt of both of those things in a way that makes people come back. But while these tactics might sound impressive from a business perspective, sadly it all comes at a heavy cost, and that is the health of the customer. One way they cause harm is through the addition of sweet substances into their food. Artificial sweeteners. Of course, many already know that high calories and sugar aren't good for them, and to make up for that, most companies have introduced a new line of diet products. These drinks are put out there as having no sugar and 0 calories. And even though this might be true, have you ever wondered why they still taste so good? The answer is quite surprising when you think about it, and it lies with the addition of artificial chemicals to their drinks. These chemicals are known as sweeteners, and what makes them special is that they provide a sweet taste without the calories that are found in sugar. The problem is that these sweeteners come with their issues. Let's start with the most sweetener used by McDonald's, aspartame. This artificial sweetener is used by many companies for their soft drinks. And the crazy part is that it's almost 200 times sweeter than sugar.
200 times sweeter than sugar, aspartame is used in everything from diet soda to yogurt, even chewable vitamins.
This chemical is so sweet that manufacturers are very careful with the amount they put in their products, trying to put enough to keep people coming back, but not too much to make them feel sick immediately or get too bored of the taste. From this point on, we will be learning a bit of chemistry, so brace yourself for the big names. When we break down aspartame, we get 3 parts that each cause major problems in our bodies. They are phenylalanine, aspartic acid, and methanol. Phenylalanine is a bodybuilding substance that causes anxiety, headaches, and high blood pressure among those who take diet products too often. Aspartic acid is used in the body to send signals to the brain. When the body takes in more of this than is needed, the person is put at risk of getting overstimulated by the smallest things. In extreme cases, this often leads to nerve damage in a serious problem known as excitotoxicity. This case often leads to bigger brain diseases like Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, and multiple sclerosis. In the best-case scenario, the person gets dizzy more often and experiences too many mood swings in a short amount of time. Methanol is an alcohol that becomes toxic when the body consumes too many sources at the same time. As it is with most edible alcohols, too much methanol causes bad vision, dizziness, and nausea. In some people, it leads to poisoning, blindness, and even death. All these come from the smaller parts of aspartame. But much bigger problems arise when we consider another sweetener called sucralose. This chemical is much sweeter, addictive, and destructive than aspartame, and over 600 times sweeter than sugar. And that, dear viewer, is not even the worst part. Let's break it down. This sweetener is made by directly changing regular sugar molecules in a way that makes it free of calories. The downside is that it becomes addictive not only to the person, but to the bacteria in the gut as well. The harmful bacteria in our guts usually get excited by this chemical, while the good ones with many benefits slowly die off. As a result, multiple intestinal diseases come up, like swelling of the abdomen, diarrhea, and dysentery. Sucralose becomes even more deadly when it's exposed to very high temperatures because it easily breaks down into harmful compounds called chloropropanols and dioxins. Chloropropanols are directly linked with cancer, while taking in lots of dioxins easily leads to serious birth defects and bad immunity. The final sweetener added by McDonald's to their products is called acesulfame potassium. This, like aspartame, is almost 200 times sweeter than sugar and is used alongside other sweetness to give a more sugar-like taste. Unlike sucralose, it doesn't break down easily under heat. What makes it dangerous is that it messes with how fast the body produces insulin, the chemical that breaks down the leftover sugar in our bodies. When this gets disrupted, the sugar level in our bodies spikes, leading to severe cases of diabetes if not treated immediately. The scariest part of all this is that we've been aware of most of this for decades and still visit the restaurants even when we don't have to. Of course, things would have been a lot simpler if these were the only problems with McDonald's products. When we look at McDonald's McRib sandwich, it has a very simple appearance. But the bun alone has 34 ingredients, most of which are sweeteners and taste enhancers. It got more troubling for experts when they identified ammonium sulfate as one of these chemicals. This looked so irritating because the substance is also an ingredient used in making soil fertilizers. The sauce that comes with the meal has even more ingredients like high fructose corn syrup and caramel color, both of which Robert F. Kennedy Jr. believes are the biggest causes of obesity in America today. Apart from increasing body fat and the high risk of diabetes, it gets much worse when we do the math by adding all the ingredients together. You won't believe how many there are in a single meal. To put it simply, while the McRib sandwich has 70 ingredients in total, the Filet-O-Fish has at least 101, the Sausage McMuffin has over 99, the Chicken Caesar salad has almost 70, and the Big Breakfast package with hotcakes has enough ingredients to produce almost 1,500 calories after the full meal. These are bad numbers on their own, but if you think it can't get any worse, then brace yourself because you're in for a huge surprise. Chemical preservatives. Way back in 2009, McDonald's shut down their entire business in Iceland because of how bad the country's economy was. Because of this, all the restaurants closed in a matter of weeks. One man named Hjörtur Smarisson was a huge fan of the restaurant and was very sad that they were shutting down. So on October 31st of that year, to keep the fun memories alive, Hjörtur bought the last McDonald's meal sold in Iceland. The package was a cheeseburger with some fries, and he kept it in a plastic bag stored in his garage. Over time, what started as an effort to remember the restaurant he loved turned into a sconce experiment, as he watched the meal for weeks to see what would happen to it. The weeks turned to months, then the months turned to years, yet the sandwich and the fries had no molds growing anywhere. Seeing how unique this food might be, he took it to the National Museum of Iceland. It was displayed there for a year, but the museum returned it shortly after because they didn't want it to suddenly rot away in their hands. Today, it can still be found in the Snotra House, a hostel in southern Iceland covered in a glass cabinet. This single meal has attracted many visitors from around the world. People were so eager to see it that the hostel set up a live stream of the meal in the cabinet with no one messing with it. But while excited people on the internet saw this meal as having the secret code to immortality, the experts among the crowd were much more concerned than impressed. What sort of harmless preservative could they have added to the meal to make it last this long? If it's truly harmless, then how come most people aren't using it to stop their meals from going bad? With this question in mind, they demanded an answer from McDonald's. Their answer was a bit disappointing, with staff representatives saying that the only reason the food hadn't decomposed was because there was no water in contact with it. In their words, without moisture, the food will not decompose, as microorganisms are responsible for making that happen and cannot do so without water. Of course, many experts couldn't buy this, and they've been keeping a close eye on the many other products prepared by McDonald's ever since, and you won't believe the things they discovered. One of McDonald's most popular products is their famous Chicken McNuggets. These are small mashes of chicken.
Scientists have revealed that chicken nuggets are less than 50% actual chicken meat
That are covered in a sweet and crunchy material. They are made of ground chicken meat mixed with many seasonings and ingredients to hold them together. After that, they are cooked, frozen, and then fried again before getting served. To make sure these products last long enough, one chemical is added to prevent the oils and fats from spoiling, and that is tert-butyl-hydroquinone, commonly known as TBHQ. While this is often used to keep food fresh and looking good for much longer, it spells danger for those who eat products that have it regularly. We are talking about nausea and vomiting. When experts found this chemical in the food, they tried giving it to lab rats over an extended period to see what the closest possible problems it would cause if humans ate these meals regularly. After several months of testing, the results were almost devastating, with the experts easily able to link the substance to various cancers. This was very concerning because even though the FDA has limited the use of these chemicals in foods, the reality is that most customers eat these products too frequently for the substance to not be a problem. Still on chicken nuggets, and research shows that they contain a toxic combination of different chemicals called disodium 5-ribonucleotides. This combination comes from the natural mixing of disodium inosinate and disodium guanylate. What are these added for? To preserve and boost the taste of their products, especially the chicken nuggets. In exchange for that sweet taste, you get a higher risk of kidney issues from the high amount of sodium, along with hypersensitive reactions among people with asthma and gout. Young children are also advised not to take meals that have this because their immune systems stop developing. Sadly, most people aren't aware of this and end up suffering the consequences without being informed. McDonald's hash browns and biscuits have a toxic chemical called sodium acid pyrophosphate, commonly known as SAPP. And as a leavening agent, it is used to make food light and fluffy by creating air pockets to make them pleasant to eat. The problem, though, is that SAPP causes a lot of problems in the body by taking vital minerals away from the bones. As a result, the bones get weaker, while the sodium in the chemical makes it harder for the kidneys to work properly. Still, on biscuits, one chemical added to improve texture and prevent clumping is cellulose. The problem is that cellulose cannot be digested by humans unless they have 4 stomachs like cows, and adding it to shredded cheese, shakes, and smoothies only causes bigger issues later on, like obesity and swelling of the abdomen. Now let's talk about another chemical they use in other products called dimethylpolysilicoxane, the one used to prevent foaming in the oil used to fry their famous Filet-O-Fish and Chicken McNuggets. The problem is that just like SAPP and TBHQ, this agent is only safe when taken in small amounts. And that alone is a huge problem for the average American who buys a meal from a restaurant at least once a week. After all, there is a reason these substances are called forever chemicals. They stay in the body for decades without breaking down, and all it takes to cause problems is for the person to keep eating more products having such substances. They never go away, and as they pile up, they lead to serious diseases like liver damage, cancer, and hormone problems. If the person still keeps taking these products, then it becomes much harder for the body to fight diseases. In some cases, we have serious birth defects in babies coming from females who have indulged in such bad eating habits. It gets more concerning when we find out that dimethylpolysilicoxane is also found in inedible things. We are talking about unsafe things like cosmetics and silly putties, and these chemicals pile up in the bodies of those who crave and eat these products. But it gets much worse. You see, in McDonald's sauces, there is a preservative that is used to stop the growth of bacteria and the potential diseases they cause. While this sounds like a good thing on the surface, the big problem is the nature of the chemical. First off, the name of this substance is sodium benzoate, and the problem starts when it combines with some of the vitamins found in most of these drinks. One vitamin causes the biggest issue, and it's vitamin C, because when it combines with sodium benzoate, it forms a poisonous substance called benzene. This chemical is so toxic that inhaling the gas alone causes serious damage to the bone marrow and could lead to blood cancers like leukemia. We haven't even looked at the many kidney problems that often come with increasing the amount of sodium in our food. Another harmful chemical found in chicken McNuggets is sodium aluminium phosphate. This chemical is used to make batters rise and grow crisp. The downside is that recent studies have linked compounds like this with nervous disorders like Alzheimer's disease. The sausage egg McMuffin contains multiple bad chemicals like butylated hydroxyanisole and propyl gallate. Butylated hydroxyanisole is used to prevent oil and fat from going bad. It's likely the biggest reason Yoder Smarison's meal hasn't broken down since 2009. On the flip side, this chemical has caused tumors in various animals tested in various conditions. Propyl gallate is much worse, as it has been traced to various cases of tumors and hormone problems in humans and animals. Other issues like lethargy, joint pain, and diabetes are easily linked to another sodium compound. This time, it's linked to sodium metabisulfite, a chemical that is used to keep tortillas from changing color whenever a long time passes. Besides the many problems caused by excessive sodium, it also causes allergic reactions among those sensitive to sulfites. The ones found in McDonald's ice cream are called sodium phosphates, another preservative that leads to absurd levels of phosphate in the blood. What makes that a bad thing is that it leads to serious kidney and heart diseases. Worse yet, it has also been linked to rapid aging of the skin. The final toxic preservatives on our list are diacetyl tartaric acid esters of monoglycerides. This is a hidden form of trans fat that increases the risk of obesity and is easily linked to other multiple heart diseases. Even though these chemicals have been reduced over the years, the trace amounts still pile up to cause major problems later on for customers. Many movements in the past have tried to come up with healthier options for everyone to look at, but have all failed in different ways. Now, Robert F. Kennedy plans to do the same thing with the intention to succeed where others failed. How does he plan to do so? Let's find out. Robert's big plan for the fast food industry. As the man put in charge of human health and services in the country,
In our first 100 days, we're going to examine every possible contributing factor to the epidemic of chronic disease. We will leave no stone unturned.
Robert F. Kennedy has taken on the impossible task of changing the way fast food is made in America. He believes there are too many bad chemicals used in the food we eat, as we've pointed out so far. He plans to work with various food companies to remove these harmful substances and make it much easier for them to be more honest about what they put in their food. For this to work, he wants the government to enforce new rules to make sure fast food restaurants use only safe ingredients that are necessary. This way, he plans to get rid of all the harmful chemical preservatives, artificial colors, and sweeteners. But there is a huge problem. The current system of things easily opens a loophole that allows companies to add new chemicals to their food. They can allegedly do this without telling anyone or asking for approval from the government. It's so bad that companies can decide on their own whether an ingredient is safe or not, and most of the info brought to you in this video comes from experts who don't recommend buying anything from them. While leading authorities like the FDA might say that certain additives are safe, the problem is that they don't factor in the reality that regular people already eat too much of these things. Robert plans to fix this by making the companies provide proof that the new ingredients they use are safe, without assuming that people take their meals in safe amounts. They have to be safe both in excess and in moderate doses before they get approved by leading authorities in the food industry. Aside from that, Robert wants to completely get rid of artificial colors, as he believes they have no place in the food we eat. At the end of the day, the government can't force anyone to stop eating unhealthy food. It is the reason why restaurants like McDonald's will always continue to exist. And it is also why the final phase of Robert's big plan is to make sure these people are well educated about the substances they choose to eat. Robert plans to do this by improving long-existing online tools for analyzing popular food products that have the highest levels of harmful chemicals in food based on how frequently the user eats them. This way, Robert hopes he will save a lot of people from taking these substances without forcing them to do anything. The idea is that if people know what is in their food, It would put pressure on the companies to remove the harmful ingredients and figure out better ways to keep their food tasty but healthy. Either way, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has taken on an impossible task, and only time will tell how far it will go. Now tell us what you think. Will Robert's plan work or will it fail? Let us know why you think either way in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Also, click on the next video shown on your screen. You will enjoy it.